upstairs. Got the game going on behind us. Got the tournament going on. This is your time of year, isn't it?
It's a busy time of year, but it's great. I love March.
This is Polk Nation Tournament Edition.
Tournament Edition.
Gazzolo and Heath Schroyer. Lots of things going on. You're a busy guy, but you want to announce what do you got for us on the finals, semifinals?
So we're putting a special out, courtesy of Lake Charles Toyota. $10 GA and $5 standing room only tickets are on sale now for the semifinals and finals of both the men and women's championship. There is no reason to not get out here to Townsley Law Arena and get a ticket, get here, and we have a chance, Jim. We have a chance to make history in putting both teams in the NCAA tournament in the same year, but we need this building full. And we thank you, Lake Charles Toyota, but $10, guys, $10 and $5 tickets. You can't beat it.
You can't beat that. And by the way, the tournament is now here again. This is your time, though, but it's an interesting time all around for this league because there are 6 teams that not only could win it, but their competition. We've got a lot of things to talk about. But what's the number one thing for you to see that you have a 1 and a 2 seed here? I mean, it wasn't long ago that you had an 8 seed and a team that wasn't in.
Yeah. It's exciting. It's obviously, there's pressure when you're hosting a tournament and you have 1 and 2 seeds, but I wouldn't want it any other way. Neither would the coaches or the players or the fans. I mean, this is what you do it for. And, when you had a vision years ago and to start to see it come to fruition and have an opportunity again to make history and from an economic impact, there's nothing bigger that can happen than men's basketball and women's basketball being successful on the hardwood.
Do you like them both being at one site?
I do.
Why? What do you like about it? Because you're one of the few leagues that do that. Not many leagues do it.
I like it because I think that our fan bases aren't that large.
Okay.
Right? So to split the fan bases between men and women, I think is not advantageous for the league. And I think it works. And personally, I love bringing all the teams to Lake Charles. I think it's great. For our community. It's great for Southwest Louisiana from an economic standpoint. And I think, our fan bases don't get split.
Now, there's always the talk about when you bring 8 teams in, do you go 1 to 8? Or what you guys do would just kind of stagger it. McNeese doesn't play till the semifinals in either men's or women's. As a coach, obviously it's beneficial to get to the semifinals. How do you juggle, though, that rest and rust? Because McNeese will not have played in 10 days almost.
It's challenging. There's no doubt about it. It is challenging. I think that, you want to be able to have the double buys. And I think as a conference, it protects the 2 top teams. When you're at a conference like us, you want to put the best teams in the NCAA tournament. And it's been,
you want to protect the regular season.
Yeah, you want to protect the regular season, and obviously us and Stephen F. Austin were, the 2 best teams in the league, and Lamar and McNeese and the women's side were the 2 best in the league. So you want to get them in the semifinals, and you put the top 4 teams, in the semifinals, and you play it out, and you let the cards, fall where they may.
It does put an emphasis more into the regular season than if you just went 1 through 8. I'll give you that, and it makes it more interesting because am I going for the double buy? How do I do this? And the interesting thing is SFA is number 2 going into the last game of the year here, loses to McNeese, falls all the way to number 3, now doesn't, and loses the final bye. So right. the whole season meant something.
Oh, no question. And, you look at other leagues, the ACC, Big Ten, all of them, they do the double buys and single buys as well.
They didn't used to, though.
Right. But I think now everyone is seeing the same thing. You're trying to prepare for the NCAA tournament to get your best teams, the best seeds possible for the tournament. But it's exciting. I mean, we're going to have Thomas Samuel on here in a little bit, but to have 2 teams on the men's side with over 25 wins has never happened in this league before. So it's this league has gotten so much better, and it's going to be an amazing tournament.
And I think that the interesting is they're both in the top 100. Mm-hmm. McNeese, I think, was 60 or 59 going into this week. I think SFA was 89.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that going for you in a place that that didn't happen here.
Right.
I mean, that never happened here. Never getting one in the top 100 was hard.
It was really hard. Yeah, the league was full of 300 plus.
Yes,
RPI
more in
teams.
the 300s.
Oh, yeah.
Than outside the 300s.
Yeah.
Now you got a lot more outside the 300s
Oh,
than
no
in the
doubt.
300s. That is a huge step.
We're going to talk to Thomas about that, but the investment that this league has done, the emphasis that this league has put on men's basketball, I think has been phenomenal because it is the one economic driver. At conferences this size is men's basketball.
Also, I want to point out something that happened Sunday night at the first night of the tournament, which I find unique.
Okay.
Some little kid comes up to you and asks for an autograph.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's a cute kid. You've got all the players and all that. It was great. Did
he know who he was talking to?
I think so, yeah.
You don't look like Will Wade. So I was just wondering what was going on there. Did you pay that kid to come up in front
I didn't.
of us?
It was a nice young man.
Do you sign a lot of autographs?
No, I don't sign very many.
I heard that a lot of people go up to you in restaurants and say hi. Is that true?
I mean, I say hi to a lot of people in restaurants. I mean, is that a bad thing? I mean, I've been here for 8 years and I know a lot of people, and
I've been here for 16 and nobody comes up to me.
Maybe that's a you problem.
Might be a me problem, hey. When we come back, Thomas Samuel will join us on Poke Nation.
Well, it's game day at the Legacy Center, and the McNeese Cowboys are warmed up and ready to play. Cowboys have a new player this year, number 22, Katie Ferdinandson. This girl loves basketball and McNeese so much she can't wait to get out on the floor. And we're off. Shoemate tips the brewer, and there goes Katie.
Ferdinandson Financial Group supports the McNeese Cowboys. The Cowboys are going to do some really big things. Really big.
McNeese athletes bring big energy, big plays, and big spirit to every game. That's why Lakeside is proud to be such a huge fan. We're a hometown team too, in the business of backing big dreams across our community every day. And we always bank on big wins with McNeese Sports. Go big with Lakeside and McNeese.
Join Don's Wash Club and score big on clean rides all season. Unlock discounts on washes, interior cleanings, oil changes, and more. Whether you're tailgating or heading home after the game, keep your ride looking like a pro. Not ready to commit? No worries. Scan the QR code on screen to see what we're all about. Enjoy your ride with Don's on McNeese, Ryan, and Nelson.
Welcome back to Poke Nation. It is a pleasure to have the Deputy Commissioner, the CEO, and the man that actually gets all the stuff done at the Southland Conference, Thomas Samuel. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I get to deal with you all the time.
Sometimes, yes. But not a ton,
Does he have to pick up the check like everybody else in town?
No. But I will tell you this. If you want anything done, this is the guy you call. He has been amazing for this conference. And let's first talk about, we got a lot to talk about, but let's talk about your history in the conference, how it started, and obviously you climbed the ranks, in the conference office.
Oh, thank you. Well, I started in 2017 in the conference office in the compliance realm. I actually had 13 years experience in communications at various institutions, Oklahoma State, Vanderbilt, went to law school, and then came back through the compliance ranks, started at Texas State, and I got my job at the conference office. I got to give credit to coach at Texas State at the time, Danny Casper, who made a call to the commissioner at the time and said, hey, we got a great compliance guy, you have an opening, he'd be great for you all. He didn't even interview anybody to check my references or anything. He said, if you can get along with Coach Casper, you can get along with anybody.
That's a really good one. Oh, yeah.
So I've been there for 17 and, again, rose through the ranks, worked with Commissioner Burnett. And then when Chris came through, Commissioner Grant, we had a great relationship from the very beginning and then just kind of worked through those times when we were down to 8 institutions, as you well know, right? And then trying to build it back up. And now we're at 12, and it's exciting times to be at the conference office.
Well, what you guys have done, and I mean that sincerely, I mean, what you and Chris have been so good for our conference, and to see where it is now, I mean, it's night and day. I mean, it really is. I mean, we're in such a great place because of your guys' leadership. But now we're at the conference tournament. So this is kind of the conference's baby, right? Like, I mean, it's a lot that goes into it. Talk a little bit about all the things that happen. Because most people come to the games or watch on TV, they don't see all the things that have to happen, all the preparation.
Yep, and it starts really as soon as this tournament ends, we're starting preparation for next year. And each year, as you can tell, we continue to build on the tournament, right? We've added elements, and that's one thing Chris and our comms and our external folks are really looking at, right, is things we can add, court design, adding the nice feature with the video boards that you've now put in there permanently. These types of things that we've done and continue to build on, continue to grow the conference. And in terms of, one of the main things I like to bring up is, we used to play our conference championship on a Saturday night when there were other things going on. No one was really watching our stuff. Now we're in a point where we play during the midweek, and now we get that, when it comes on Wednesday, our championship game is seen. It's like the only thing on ESPN. And that's something that we looked at and noticed when we were down in Katy a few years ago, and we were like wondering, like, how can we do this? How can we change things up? So we're building it externally, and the branding has been on point, and it's been an exciting time.
Well, and I know Jim's got some questions too, but I think when you turn on the TV, and you know, there's other one-bid leagues out there that the last couple of days that you turn on their championship games, and they're at neutral sites, and there's no one there. I mean, the building is just empty, and that's kind of how it was when we were at Katy.
That's right.
And now, you know, being here and it's a central location, people are starting to gravitate to it, and it is a great venue to host the tournament.
Yeah, certainly is. And there's a vested interest in this tournament and in the institution here, right? McNeese has done a great job in terms of building up both programs, and I remember talking to you a few years ago and saying, the vision that you and Commissioner Grant had about bringing the tournament here, having that central location, and then investing into those programs. Not first with men's basketball, now we're seeing the success with women's basketball. But being on campus, and you would think like, oh well, other institutions may not be supportive of it, but we've been in those meetings where others have come in and said, this location's great, this facility's great. We love it. I don't want to say love, but we like it being in Lake Charles, right? So it's been a great mix so far, and we've extended it now for a few more years as well. So it's been exciting times, and we continue to build and grow on it, and the attendance has been great as well.
I think they liked it a little better when McNeese was the 8th seed.
Yep.
I want to thank you for all Cowboy fans, because the fact that you guys brought in the video board the one year, you had to have the video board the next year for the whole season.
That is true.
So that's a big thank you for it. One thing I want to point out is that, 5 years ago, almost like McNeese, the league was in trouble. So the growth with McNeese has been kind of the same path. But what has the TV deals done? Because you went to CBS Sports this year, got much more exposure for the whole league, not just McNeese. What has that done, and what does that do for the branding?
Yeah, certainly. Like one of the things when we went back to market, we worked with a company, Octagon, that works with media rights, and that was something that Commissioner Grant was very big on, is getting something that's not just the same deal that we had in the past with ESPN, getting more out of it. One of the things, wanted to have a carve-out for CBS Sports, bring 5 college basketball games in addition to what we already have. And so that's been great. National broadcast. It's on Monday nights. We've had great attendance, great figures there. And one thing also with that, we also added an extra linear game as well. And in addition to that, we've done a baseball game. This will be the first college baseball game, I believe, in the Southland Conference history that we'll be broadcasting in next month at UTRGV versus Southeastern, the 2 top teams from last year. So continuing to build on that. And one thing we used to do is we used to not have as many games in the championship, right? We would have just the ESPN 2 game. Now we've added a semifinal game. So continue to build on that as well. I mean, it's been great. Like, ESPN's been a great partner for us, as well as CBS Sports, and y'all had an opportunity as well there.
Yeah, it does seem like that. And the real thing is, it's giving you exposure. But talk about the league as a couple years ago, people were leaving it. Now you're getting all these calls, people wanting to come into it.
Right.
What are you telling people? You missed the boat?
Yeah, well, right now you're going from a place where you're just. I mean, we had conversations. You would just imagine some of the places that we were looking at, right? When we first we're trying to build it back up, and now we're in a spot where you're right. Texas and Louisiana, there's institutions. We'll always listen, but right now we're in a comfortable spot, right? With 12 institutions, we're in a spot where we can actually be the persons that look at them and vet them properly, make sure that they're a good fit for our conference. So it's actually in a great position to be in when you're not really having to search out institutions, but they're coming to you.
No, it's a lot better to be wanted than to be needing. So right now you're in a good spot. When we come back, we'll have more with Thomas after this on Hope Nation.
The Cowboys are going to do some really big things. Really big.
McNeese athletes bring big energy, big plays, and big spirit to every game. That's why Lakeside is proud to be such a huge fan. We're a hometown team too, in the business of backing big dreams across our community every day. And we always bank on big wins with McNeese Sports. Go big with Lakeside and McNeese.
Join Don's Wash Club and score big on clean rides all season. Unlock discounts on washes, interior cleanings, oil changes, and more. Whether you're tailgating or heading home after the game, keep your ride looking like a pro. Not ready to commit? No worries. Scan the QR code on screen to see what we're all about. Enjoy your ride with Don's on McNeese, Ryan, and Nelson.
Well, it's game day at the Legacy Center, and the McNeese Cowboys are warmed up and ready to play. Cowboys have a new player this year, number 22, Katie Ferdinandson. This girl loves basketball and McNeese so much she can't wait to get out on the floor. And we're off. Shoemate tips the Brewer, and there goes Katie.
Ferdinandson Financial Group supports the McNeese Cowboys.
We're back with Thomas Samuel, Chief Operating Officer and also Deputy Commissioner of the Southland Conference. And Thomas, the big thing that I've noticed is 2 years ago, you're 31 of 33 conferences.
Yep.
Will Wade comes in, people see the success of McNeese and get on board with the investment. Right now, you're up to 18, maybe even 17 this week, depending on some of the Ken polls. When did that happen, and how kind of gratifying for you guys is it to see not only other teams wanting to get in, but other teams that are here investing?
Yep, and that's big. A couple of years, I'd say, when Heath was the basketball coach, we used to have meetings in Frisco, where our headquarters are, and talked about building it up and trying to get our scheduling right. And one thing with McNeese's investment in men's basketball, now with women's basketball as well, is like you see the scheduling components. We've actually looked at a basketball success plan that was just approved on the men's basketball side to continue to push it forward. I think this is the first time in our league that we've had two teams with 25-plus wins, which is showing like others are investing because they see what McNeese has done with basketball as well, and they know that that's a path forward in terms of, we've talked about it all the time, that where the money and the opportunities are in college sports, especially at the conference like ours, is investing in college and men's basketball specifically. But in that, when we do that, then you can see what just happened, right? Last year with the defeat, beating Clemson and being a 12 seed, right? So now we're actually getting both of our, it looks like two of our schools could, if they were to win the conference tournament, would be a 12 seed, which would be great. Continue to build on that, not necessarily focusing on just getting into the tournament and hopefully, getting a win. Now it's an expectation. You have a chance to do that. So we're excited about that.
Well, yeah, and I think that, again, it all starts from the top, right?
Yep.
And we've talked about this on the show, but now it's great to have you saying the same thing, because that's really where it starts, is the top, is saying, hey, at our level, at the FCS level, where you can move the needle financially is really only one place, and that is men's basketball.
Yep.
And women's basketball now gets a unit too.
Yes.
So, but I will tell you, getting people in that room to understand that, when it's been completely opposite for years and years and years, wasn't a small task, right? But I think the conference has done a great job of just educating the people, i.e. the presidents and ADs, and looking at it, the transparency that this this organization leadership team has with the conference is different than most and that I've ever seen, because they say, hey, here are the numbers, and when you see it, they're saying, okay, we need to get involved with it too, and I think that's what's happened the rest of the league.
Yep. And everyone continues to look at it, and instead of just saying we just need to make the conference tournament, be an 8 seed, just get a few wins here to get to that point. Now they're actually investing into their programs. And what does investment mean? It could be resources. It could be in facilities. East Texas A&M is building a nice new complex, right? So they're continuing to do that investment. We'll just see where it continues to go. We're excited about it because it gives opportunity. Not only the investment, but also, like we said, the exposure for our conference, our league. It's been exciting.
And one of the things what happened, and I said this, what happened the last time around is the ones that invested and the ones that didn't invest, that was the split. How do you get the ones that can't invest or aren't investing to understand that? Because you got to bring up the bottom too. Yep. That's important too.
Yep, and that's been the challenge too. Is that we've always had that challenge, and there's always going to be those institutions that can, and it's just the reality of it, right? So there are ways they can invest in their programs, and we're seeing that now with NIL, right, and opportunities, and people understand either you do invest or you get left behind, and no one wants to be left behind. So we actually can't talk about it right now, but we do have institutions that are actually up in their game in the NIL space to try to get to the point where they can actually be more competitive on the courts. But overall, top to bottom, I think you'd say it's been a great league so far,
league is
right?
A lot better.
Far better.
Yeah.
I mean, you come in here and you watch the 5, 8, 6, 7 games last night, which I did, and you're sitting there saying, there's teams that are playing here that can win the tournament.
Yeah, there's 6. I said going in, there's 6 teams that can win this thing.
And so the league has just gotten so much more competitive, which is a really good thing. I don't. If I would have said this years ago, people would have thought I was nuts. But what the OVC did years ago, when Belmont and Murray were in the league, and they had an enhancement plan very similar to what we just passed. And by doing that, they got 2 teams in the in-state tournament. Yeah. And it truly elevated the league. Yep. I'm telling you, I could see a couple years from now, if we stay on this trajectory, that we would be in conversations of getting 2 teams in. And a year or 2 ago, people would have thought, that was crazy. That was crazy. But you look at, there was one week where Joe Lenardi had us and Stephen F. Austin in the tournament.
Yep.
I mean, unbelievable.
Yep. Yeah, and had Stephen F. not lost to New Orleans, I think they would have had a chance to get a second. One question, though, that comes up is playing. You have to play 22 games now in the conference. Yep. But for McNeese, probably for SFA next year, if they get into the tournament and that, it's hard to get games in the building non-conference. Can you do something like you did in football a couple years ago with the OVC to get to where you bring in every other year? Can you get that with a conference?
Yep, we're actually having those conversations right now in terms of other conferences, looking at those non-conference home-and-home opportunities, potentially maybe 4 games where you do 2. Where you do take a travel partner, right, and you come in. So we're looking at that, and other conferences are interested in doing that too, because everybody's trying to get D1 games, right, home games, and it's been big. I know Heath's always asking us too for anyone out there looking to get games, so it's exciting to actually get those people now reaching out to us and trying to get scheduling consortiums together. So.
And it's interesting because to me, I've seen the Southland, especially in softball, they've gone out and beaten the Sun Belt. Yep. They've gone out and beaten leagues that were considered higher than them in the past in other sports. I think basketball could do that too. I mean, East beats UL almost the last 3 years, so those opportunities are there. Yep. When we come back, we'll get Coach's final thoughts. Thomas, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you around the tournament.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Join Don's Wash Club and score big on clean rides all season. Unlock discounts on washes, interior cleanings, oil changes, and more. Whether you're tailgating or heading home after the game, keep your ride looking like a pro. Not ready to commit? No worries. Scan the QR code on screen to see what we're all about. Enjoy your ride with Don's on McNeese, Ryan, and Nelson.
Well, it's game day at the Legacy Center, and the McNeese Cowboys are warmed up and ready to play. Cowboys have a new player this year, number 22, Katie Ferdinandson. This girl loves basketball and McNeese so much she can't wait to get out on the floor. And we're off. Shoemate tips the brewer, and there goes Katie.
Ferdinand Financial Group supports the McNeese Cowboys. The Cowboys are going to do some really big things. Really big.
McNeese athletes bring big energy, big plays, and big spirit to every game. That's why Lakeside is proud to be such a huge fan. We're a hometown team too, in the business of backing big dreams across our community every day. And we always bank on big wins with McNeese Sports. Go big with Lakeside and McNeese.
I want to talk about some other sports for you for a minute. First of all, interesting weekend last weekend because you moved every game around. We had double headers with single headers for it. What kind of a headache is that for administration in the spring sports?
It's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, our staff, they do a phenomenal job. And again, I think that sometimes people don't really realize the hours and the time that the ticket office puts in, right? That our facilities people put in, and then turn around and then run the tournament and be like, it's a lot. I have an unbelievable staff that is truly passionate, but it's a lot.
It really is. But just seeing how many times games changed last weekend because of rain and the difference of the rain and that. Softball goes out and sweeps Lamar, which is a huge thing. They're starting to get some pitching. They look really good. Southeastern looks really good. That's going to be interesting. Baseball got pitching. They're getting the pitching now. We'll see if they can turn some things around offensively. They're at 500 in the league. They're 500 for the year. And for one thing is they knocked LSU. LSU hadn't been the same since you beat them.
Yeah.
So that's
pretty cool.
You killed LSU.
No, yeah. I mean, look, it's the first time.
Around killing teams.
It's the first time in the history of the program that McNeese baseball has beat a team that was ranked in the top 5.
Yeah. They were number 2 at the time.
It was really it was a really special moment.
Yeah, they've won. You won 7 out of 8 after that until this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of interesting things that are happening here outside of that. But let's face it, basketball takes over this week. For you to see both teams doing well, because you're a basketball guy, what does that mean really for you? Because you get to enjoy this.
Yeah, it's special. I looked at when I took over as an athletic director. Yes, I'm a basketball person, but I'm also a business person.
Yeah.
And when I took over the athletic department 6 years ago, we needed to make some real changes here.
Yeah.
And so the one thing that I knew was that men's basketball, we needed to invest in it because the return on the investment was so much greater than anything else that we have. And we did that.
And it's the quickest thing you can flip.
Yeah, 100%. And again, I had an administration above me with Dr. Roos that saw the same thing. And and we can make some money in football because of our attendance. But when you go to the NCAA tournament, it's a different branding mechanism. Everything's different. It just changes your entire university, and we've been able to see that firsthand. Like last year, our website crashed. It doesn't crash doing anything else.
No.
And so I'm excited about it, but it's neat to see and very rewarding to see the vision come to fruition.
You got 10 seconds. Gatsby us out.
We got 5 tables left. Get your Gatsby tables, but more importantly, get out here this week and let's win 2 championships.
We'll see you next week on Pork Nation.
Well, it's game day at the Legacy Center, and the McNeese Cowboys are warmed up and ready to play. Cowboys have a new player this year, number 22, Katie Ferdinand. This girl loves basketball and McNeese so much she can't wait to get out on the floor. And we're off. Shoemate tips the Brewer, and there goes Katie.
Ferdinand Financial Group supports the McNeese Cowboys.